What is up, you beautiful collectors and Transformer fans? Thanks so much for tuning in. Once again, it is the one and only Optibotimus coming at you with another video review. And on today's episode, we're going to be taking a look at the new Transformers Age of the Primes Voyager class PRIMA Prime. The first of the Primes to be created by Primus to battle the evil Unicron, and I'm super excited about getting it. You guys know how excited I am about finally getting toy representations of the Primes. They've given us a couple throughout history, but nothing on this dedicated of a scale, and I'm super into it. For the packaging, obviously a little bit bigger as it's a Voyager class figure, but you got the gorgeous image of PRIMA in vehicle mode and robot mode right here on the front. Of course, you got the open window with the plastic that prevents you from touching the toy but allows you to see the toy. The side here has an up-close image of PRIMA looking absolutely spectacular with the Star Saber there above his head. Absolutely loving it. You got images of the 13 Primes here on the side. As I showed in the other videos with like Solus Prime and the two aerial bots, you can actually combine those boxes to have one kind of panoramic image of what look like statues of the Primes, which is really cool. Kind of maybe overlooking like the Well of Sparks or whatever. I mean, that is really very neat. I think that's absolutely cool that they're doing it, but with a Voyager class figure, it's the same image here on the side, but you can't really line those up because the box is a little bit bigger. So maybe you'll be able to do it with the Voyager figures. Who knows? You come around to the back of the package and you can see that he transforms in 20 steps. Solus, I think, transformed in 28 steps. So it's really interesting. I mean, like, a lot of times it was how intricate the transformation is would kind of talk about the price point for it. If it was a more involved transformation, usually had a higher price point. This has less steps than a deluxe figure and only a few more than the aerial bots, for example. So it's really interesting. I mean, obviously it's a bigger figure, not quite leader size. I'll pull out Megatronus, but larger, just not as many steps. That's interesting how it fluctuates. You can see that this is you got like an official logo right there. But super cool. And then you can see the Star Saber right down there, which is really very fun. I do have a third-party one that I've used primarily, so I might swap that out, but we'll take a look. But for the packaging on this guy, that's about it. So without further ado, let's get him out here and see how cool he actually is. And here we have PRIMA opened up and out of his packaging, and this guy is extremely well done, combining a lot of different elements on how we kind of know PRIMA to look. The folks at Hasbro really did do a great job with this. Originally, PRIMA was thought to be, and I guess they went back and kind of mentioned that an unnamed robot in one episode of Transformers was basically PRIMA Prime. So I guess that's officially canon, but there's been a lot of other, like in the Covenant of Primus, he looked a little bit different. But one thing that is great is the overall design of him, as I said, really pulls from a couple different elements, which I think they did a great job with. Starting off first, he does come with the Star Saber, which is his weapon of the Primes. You can see that if I remove it, come on, it pegs in there very securely. You can remove the Matrix as the very first Autobot or Transformer, I guess you could say, because they weren't really Autobots by this point in time. But the first Transformer created by Primus, he was also the first bearer of the Matrix, and you can see absolutely gorgeous with the little blue jewel right there. And then it just pegs in here. It was meant to be part of the hilt of Star Saber, and you can see really well done, very much a classic look for it. I'm going to show you my third-party one that I've used for a very long time. I do prefer that one more, but this is actually really nice, and when you come in close, it is so very hard to see, but right there, because it's like gray paint painted on silver, you can see PRIMA's logo. All the weapons are where the logos are for the particular Prime. And here is, just again, bringing it in, here is the Prime Core. I love the fact that, now this was, there were two different versions of this. The original one came with a San Diego Comic-Con set, and then another one came out with Punch Counterpunch, I think it was, and this is the one that came out with Punch Counterpunch, which just looks much better with that translucent blue, which just matches that a whole lot nicer. But you can see, you got the very silverish paint on there, because with the Covenant of Primus, he was kind of silverish white for the most part, and I think that they did a good job of going with that on this. That G1 episode, he was much like yellow and orange and stuff, but the overall design, like I said, really does pull from both of those kind of design elements with the coloring and everything, but the head is very plainly that G1 toy, or that G1 character. Now, one thing that I like, people have criticized about the lack of paint and color on here. I'm not really that disappointed in it. He's got like some dark gray elements, got some silver thrown in there. One thing that I like, though, is the color that they use for the plastic, as you can see, is very reflective, giving a very shiny look to him, which I think is very well done. I mean, yeah, he doesn't have a lot of color, but when you move him around in the light, it hits it in a way that gives him some coloration, which I think is extremely well done. I'm very happy with how he turned out. That head sculpt, like I said, very, very well done. You got the gray, obviously the blue or the blue eyes right there, but these little, I don't even, angular, rounded horn sections is very much like what that G1 character had. The other thing that's nice with this guy, and I mean, he doesn't come with a lot of accessories, but you can take this, you can open this centerpiece, and you can take the Matrix of Leadership and put it in there if you wanted to. That's not going to be something that I'm going to do, just because, I mean, for me, and I'm not going to be able to get that out, so we're going to pull out my little guitar pick. Oh, no, it was already falling out. I'm going to leave that attached to the Star Saber, but even on the inside here, great sculpted in detail. That's really quite nice. So this is, like I said, just going to stay with this. But for me, this is the third-party one that I've used for a very long time. It's a little dirty, but I forgot where this came from. There was like 3 different versions of this. I have this one, I have a goldish color one, and like a dark purple one, I think. But you can see that you got this very nice chrome section here. This is what I'm going to use in replace of this. Number one, it's bigger, and it's also made out of metal, but you can also see that the Matrix is still built into it. So I'm curious, and he holds that perfectly, and that's going to replace this, just because of how badass that looks. So there's it's an unfair comparison, because like I said, this is a third-party one, and this is made out of metal. Obviously, Hasbro's not going to be able to do that. But the part that kind of really annoys me about this is, from this angle, you can see the Matrix. You spin it around, and there's nothing there, which it's supposed to be like this, built into it, which, you know, it's not. So there's that. The other thing that is, like, this is one of the original Transformers movie figures. This is the Protoform Optimus Prime, and this is honestly the figure that I have used as PRIMA in my display. And he's, you know, maybe I'll swap these, because this is a little bit smaller, and he can hold this. Kind of. It's a little bit. No, not really. But this is the figure that I use, because he's very Cybertronian, and that's the one that I used for a number of years as my PRIMA in my display. But I don't need to do that anymore, so we're going to move him over there. But for some comparisons, here we have... Wait, where'd you go? Where'd you go? No, that's not it. What am I doing? Well, all right. Oh, there she is. She's right in front of me. So first off, here is Megatronus. These two had a big kind of falling out. I don't remember the exact story, but something along the lines of Megatronus had a bit of a crush on this girl, Solus Prime, and was kind of jealous of their relationship. And Solus actually gets killed by Megatronus, which ultimately kind of starts him down the path and kind of begins the whole process of him becoming the Fallen. So you can see the overall size here. Yeah, Solus is pretty small. I love the size difference between these. Somebody was saying that all of them should be large leader size figures. I respectfully disagree. I think that having a variety is much better. We have a deluxe, we have a Voyager, we have a leader, and it gives a sense of scale and sizing that all of them are going to be a little bit different and a little bit kind of uneven, which I think is fantastic for all of them. As I talked about in my Solus Prime review, even though that she's a female and she's the smallest so far that we've gotten, she really wields one of the most powerful weapons, and consequently is probably one of the most powerful of the primes. She can create any weapon to battle anybody for any reason. That's a very unique ability that she has with the Forge. So I love this overall scale. I think that it works very nicely, and I'm really curious. I know that we've seen, I think it was Alchemist is the other one that we've kind of seen so far. I'm really curious how he's going to scale up with this guy. For his articulation, the head is on a ball joint. Get a good range of motion with that, so you can get him looking any real way that you want. These shoulder bits here do move out of the way, kind of, so you can articulate this arm up about that far. Doesn't really do anything, because, I mean, that's as far as it really goes. Does rotate. You do have the swivel at the bicep. You do have more than a 90-degree bend at the elbow, which is good. Wrists do rotate. His hands also do open at the fingers, which is cool to see. Come down here to the waist. He does have a waist swivel. These little bits kind of get out of the way, and you can see you can rotate that guy side to side. The hips do move forward and back, in and out. They rotate right up here. I love the covering kind of for it, which does look really cool. Bends decently at the knee, come down to the ankles. You do have some forward and back, and then you have ankle tilt, which is absolutely fantastic. But the overall, like I said, design of this guy is extremely well done. He looks very heroic, but also very calm, which I that's the only real way that I can think of describing it. He's got that presence about him, which does have a very kind of calming look to him. And in general, I just think he's an extremely well done looking figure. And like I said, they did a great job of really merging the different looks. And they've had to do that with all of these so far. They're pulling from a lot of different sources to create these. And I think so far they're doing a great job. Now, transformation on this guy, even though he's a Voyager figure, is fairly simplistic. There's some, I guess, kind of unique things that he does, but realistically, the transformation isn't overly spectacular. First, what you're going to want to do is come around here to the arms. You can kind of pull these away, and you want to rotate his arm all the way around, just like that. And then you're going to take this panel, if I can figure out which, pull this down, get this to separate. There we go. Just like that. You want to keep the bend there, and then you're going to take the fist and put that back. You just leave that like so for right now. Do that on this side as well. I mean, it doesn't really matter how you do it, but just fold that back. Just, it doesn't go all the way in. Just sits there. And then rotate that all the way around. Maybe something like that. We'll put that in the right spot here in a bit. Come around here to the back section. You want to take this. This part, it does get a little bit kind of interesting. You want to take these, lift these up, and then fold this kind of back like so. You got the tires in here, which do a real good job of hiding. Fold that out. Fold that out. Then right here, you want to make sure that you get you can see that little piece that comes up there. You want to kind of make sure that that's about as flat and as far away from the torso as possible, because then you need to rotate this around. Other parts are going to kind of get in the way, but rotate that around like that. Then you got on the back side of his head is a little slot section that's going to tab in there. So fold that back. You can't transform him with his head around the other way. It will stick out too far, and that's kind of unfortunate because he will have his head hanging out in vehicle mode the entire time. So once you have it like that, you can come around here, just kind of leave that there for right now. Come around here to the back section here, fold this bit out. It's on a double hinge. You're just going to kind of accordion that out like so. Do that on this side as well. Pull that out, get a hold of it, and there you go. Very stiff. And then take the feet, and you got little slots and stuff right here. Just kind of push this back, lock that down. Do that there, lock that down. And then you can bring the legs together. You got a slot and hook thing right up here, and then just a regular tab there. Once you have that kind of like that, that's gonna sort of angle down and then bring this back. Now, this part here, you need to make sure that you get this lined up. So you got little posts here and there. You just kind of bring this back and around and get this in a position where that's going to, so angle this up, angle that up, so that those little bits are pointing upward and those are going to slot in there. It's a little bit easier for me to do that now, just to kind of line everything up proper and then get that nice and squeezed in there, just like so. And that's pretty much set up like that. Kind of angle that forward. And then this, you literally just bend it at the knee and then kind of shift it. I don't know why I just paused right there. That was my old... that's funny. I just kind of regressed back to my old way of doing it. I would pause when I was trying to think of what to say. That's interesting that I just did that. You want to kind of bend him at the hips so you can take this and tuck that down, and that's going to sit right there. Once you have that all the way down, then you can take these, and you got on the inside here, it's kind of hard to see, these little gripping sections that are going to grip onto that little tab. So you literally just kind of put it right there and get it in. Just kind of sit it there and just do that on that side as well. Do that on that side as well. Make sure that that's relatively straight like so. And then get this lifted up and out of the way. And yeah, see, I needed to, oh no, that's actually in the right spot. So once you have it like this, you got a little tab and slot bit that's going to connect here and here, and then in the front right there. Literally, if you have it lined up right, you literally just kind of push it there, slot that in, and then slot that in right along the side. Come on to this side. So yeah, I did have that right. And then you just slide that in. That'll kind of grip on there towards the top, and there towards the back, just like that. Make sure that those, there we go, and then slot all that together. There we go. Yeah, nice. Okay, and then take these, fold these forward, and these will tab down. And there you have PRIMA Prime in his vehicle mode. Like I said, you have to have the head there. You can't rotate it around, otherwise you won't be able to. Do I have these all the way in? I feel like that's not completely up in there. There we go. It won't roll properly if you have it, but when you have it right, it rolls fine. And I mean, he basically looks like one of those kind of lunar rover sort of things, which is cool. I don't think I didn't have that all tabbed in proper. Oh, come on, what are you doing? he's decent. I mean, he's meant to be Cybertronian, and I just kind of like popped everything out. So obviously he's not going to have like a specific shape or specific look for his vehicle mode, because it's mostly just this weird thing. There we go. And I like it. He rolls. He does his thing. I mean, you can take the Star Saber. You can plug it in there. Although, oh well, no, that's right. That separates. Oh wait, no. Well, I mean, you got all these different posts on here. I don't know why that's not plugging in very well. I mean, you got that. And you got a whole section here. Oh yeah, it should push all the way through. No, it just sits there. So you can do that. You got these other little side bits that you can plug in there. As you can see, you can separate this, which I don't know why you would want to do that, but you can if you want to. That really doesn't do much, and there's no real other place to kind of store it. I guess. I mean, so in general, I mean, it looks decent. I am happy with it for the most part. The colors, again, are basically going to be the same throughout the entire vehicle. You do get a little bit more gray and kind of silver coming through, but like I said, people complain about the color on it, but I really think that as you move it around, you can see the shine on it. And I think that the choice of plastic color actually is really quite nice for this. You got more of the blue, kind of like with this. For the windows right here, it does a decent job. I'm for the most part very happy with it. It is just a random vehicle mode. I mean, honestly, there's all these Cybertronian modes are a little bit kind of weird-ish, but that's fine. They don't need to look like anything, and truthfully, we never saw them transform into anything. So it's not that big of a deal, honestly. The fact that they're able to create robot modes that look as, in my opinion, impressive as they are, and still fit in a vehicle mode. I mean, I'm quite happy with it, honestly. Color, the design of the vehicle mode is okay. The robot mode, I think, is the best. Transformation is a little bit weak. As you can see, there's not really a lot that's going on with them. It's decent. It's a decent transformation. It's not. I feel like I'm not getting that lined up proper. There we go. Sorry. So it's like the transformation. It for a Voyager figure is a little bit lackluster, honestly. Oh, you know what? I wonder. Oh no, well, I don't know. It's got like little things here in the back. So it is a lackluster transformer. Kind of reminds me of Cup to a degree. It's for a Voyager figure, I feel like it could have been done a little bit better, but I'm okay with it. I really actually am. I think that it turned out pretty decently. So PRIMA being the first Prime, it's kind of cool to get him that early or this early in the whole Age of the Primes thing. And so we now have 3 of the Primes. We have 10 more, 13 Primes. So I'm really curious to see what they're going to do for I mean, we have seen Alchemist. I'm really curious about him. But like Amalgamus is going to be an interesting one. Micronus is going to be an interesting one. A lot of them, I'm really curious on what they're going to do, and I'm all for it. I'm on board. I'm excited about it, as I've talked about many times already in these videos. I am a big fan of the lore of the Primes. I think it's really fun, and it's an aspect of Transformers that has not been touched realistically. in any kind of major sort of way. We've gotten comics, we've gotten stories, books and things of that nature. I really wish I did not sell my Covenant of Primus. That's a great book. But really excited, super fun. If you guys are interested in picking this guy up, he is actually hitting some online retailers right now. So if you are looking for him, good luck and happy hunting. Or as always, you can do the real simple thing and pre-order or order through places like Big Bad Toy Store, Entertainment Earth, Amazon, all of those places. I will pull links right down there in the video description to make things easier for you. Also, clicking on those links and purchasing from those stores, while I don't get paid or anything, it's not really an affiliate link. I don't earn anything off of it. But it does show those places that you are going to those websites and buying things off of my video reviews. So that support is greatly appreciated. Also, don't forget to hit that subscribe button in case you haven't already subscribed. Also, if you've enjoyed these videos, do that thing where you hit that thumbs up button. Give me that like. Let me know that you're actually enjoying these. If you can, help support the channel by becoming an Optibotimus Plus channel member. I'm trying to think of anything else. That's about it, guys. So, as always, I want to thank you all so much for tuning in and watching. And until next time, this is Optibotimus saying adios, au revoir, and Auf Wiedersehen.